On one of my blogs, I received a question: how do I get myself to a place where I'm not impacted by outside inflation, where they're printing fiat money and they're raising the volume of money out in the circulation, and they're devaluing the money, and now the value of my dollar goes down, and the cost of living seem to go higher. How do I do that? Well, if you live day to day and pay your bills and don't ever save or invest your money and investing it where it can grow and exceed the rate of inflation in growth, then you're going to be trapped by inflation. Your cost of living is going to go up. And people who live and work and take their money and pay the most taxes and don't invest it or don't own their own company where they have write-offs have the most difficulty because they got a fixed income, because they got a fixed state of mind. They're not giving themselves permission to go out and serve more people and own their own company and invest. So if you work for others, you have the most taxes and you're most impacted by inflation. If you work for yourself, you have more write-offs. You're probably going to pay less taxes, and the inflation is going to have less impact on you because you can fluctuate and change the prices and what your is to compensate for it. And if you invest and you put it into quality investments that exceed in growth, like stocks and real estate, that allow you to exceed and overrule the inflation by growing and appreciating faster than inflation, then you have the least impact by inflation. So my advice is, whatever you're doing, calm down your expenses, prioritize your expenses, budget your life if you're on a fixed income, and extract out some extra and put it into savings and start investing. Every day you invest, and the more you invest, the more compound interest starts to exceed the inflationary process, and you can take advantage of investments that exceed it. The stock market can exceed the inflationary rate. But if you don't invest and you're basically living month to month and you're paying bills like that and you're on a fixed income, inflation is going to be, you're going to be impacted by the external world, inflation, based on the printing of money. So my advice is to take whatever you're doing, calm down your expenses, extract out some extra, live within your means, and save and invest and put it into investments, put it into index funds or put it in some real estate, but make sure you're now doing something that overrules inflation, that goes up with it. Then see if you can't get into your own company where you can leverage yourself and increase and have no limit on the income you can make. And that way you can grow your income and you can compensate for it and you can raise your prices because you have control over that. And third, make sure that you invest as much as you possibly can. 42 years ago, I realized that I was living in a fantasy about somehow I was going to be financially independent. But I got grounded 42 years ago and I started saving and investing my money. And I've been doing that every week since. And I can tell you, if you do, your money works for you and you're not a slave. And if not, you're working for it and it's mastering you. You're the slave. So be the master, not the slave, and invest. Live. People think they can't afford it, but I've seen people on very small incomes save a good percentage of their income. So it's just a matter of making a choice about how you live your life. If you live your life beyond your means, you'll have a decrescendo coming down in your life as you get older. If you live within your means and save and invest, you'll crescendo in your lifestyle for life. So my advice is to do that. It will help you overcome inflation and not be trapped. You only trap yourself because you're not willing to step out and care enough about enough other people to find a way of solving problems, bringing solutions to people, bring a product, service, or idea to people that's more effective and efficient than others, and do it in a way that gives you an income, allows you to invest to move forward in life. As you know, you can be a victim of history or master of destiny.